Hi, I'm Ben Martin. I'm a children and family pastor here at Pioneer Memorial Church, and welcome to Disciple Parenting. This is a YouTube channel created to help equip parents to better disciple their kids. So if you're interested in this kind of content, I invite you to subscribe. Join what we're doing here. Join this community that we're building so that we can better disciple our kids for Jesus Christ. In this video, I want to talk about trust. Trust is one of those things that we all recognize as valuable, but how valuable do we really think it is? How much does it matter that our kids are completely honest? If I were to ask you that, you would probably say, well, no, it's important that my kids are completely and totally honest 100% of the time. But is that really what we practice? Is that really what we believe? Is that really what we live? What about white lies? What about those half-truths? So in this video, we're going to get into honesty and trust and how do we build that within our family. So let's get into it. If you think about it, honesty is at the foundation of every single relationship in your life. It's hugely important. Honesty creates safety in that relationship. It allows that relationship to feel safe, to feel the ability to grow. But there's also kind of this circular thing happening here because although honesty allows for safety, safety allows for honesty. The two go together. If you don't feel safe in a relationship, it makes it more difficult for you to be open and honest and vulnerable. And if you're not open and honest and vulnerable, it doesn't allow for the other people in the relationship to feel safe either. And so it's kind of this symbiotic relationship between honesty and safety in a relationship. How do you equip your child to be honest? I mean, and is that your ultimate goal? Let's be honest. There's this idea of white lies, these little lies that don't actually matter, the things that we tell people to spare their feelings, where we don't want to say the hurtful things. And although I'm not advocating for going out and saying every hurtful thing that comes to your mind, there's a difference between like being filterless, having no filter, and being honest. Those aren't the same thing. And so you have the ability to say, you know what? That doesn't need to be said. That doesn't build up the body of Christ. That doesn't recognize this other person as someone created in the image of God. I don't need to say that. That doesn't contribute anything positive. But at the same time, being honest. Those things can work together. And so there's no logical reason for white lies, for these little half-truths that we somehow say, hey, you know, I'm going to sugarcoat this lie and call it a white lie. That's not real. But what do we do if our kids are struggling with honesty? If their first reaction to every situation where they're in trouble or they got caught, and their first reaction is this gut reaction of just looking you right in the eyes and saying a bold-faced lie. How do you do that? Well, there's a few steps that we can do to kind of create an atmosphere where they feel safe to be honest. First of all, slow down. Slow down. So often as parenting, we want to jump right to the solution. We want to help them figure out what's going on. Slow down. Realize that as they are developing, as they are trying to figure out their emotions for themselves, maybe the first step is just slowing down, giving them that space to process it and realize the importance of telling the truth before they answer. The next important step is to model some vulnerability. So often we ask of our kids what we're not willing to give. It's not fair. So model vulnerability. Be honest with them. Let them learn from your mistakes. Share with them times where you weren't honest, how it affected you not only in that moment, but also down the road. Share with them times where you were honest, even when it was hard, but it paid off in the end. Be vulnerable with them. Share your story with them. Storytelling is this incredible tool for discipleship that's so often underused. Be vulnerable with your kids. Let them see the good, the bad, and the ugly of your own life in an honest and vulnerable way. Of course, the next part is model honesty. Model honesty in every one of your relationships. Do it not only in the ones that clearly your kids are watching, like with your spouse and with your kids. Like, our kids are watching it every moment, though. They're watching us at checkout at the grocery store. They're watching us in our interactions with our neighbors. They're watching us in everything we do. If we're not being completely and totally honest in all of our relationships, our kids are learning that there are some relationships that it's important to be honest in, and there are some that aren't. That's not real. That's not what we want to teach them. That is not our goal in discipling them. And so we have got to learn complete honesty, even when that might be to our detriment, even when other people aren't being completely honest with us, even when our kids aren't there. We've got to live out what we want them to be. And that being said, hold yourself to the highest standard. Don't ask things of your kids that you're not willing to live out in your own life. Be completely and totally, absolutely honest 100% of the time. Why? Because that's the disciples that we are called to be. We are called to love people so incredibly, so completely. And love without honesty is dangerous. So let's be a people known to be honest. Have you ever stopped to think about what would be some of the benefits if we were completely and totally 100% honest all the time? What life would be like in that world? There would be no politics. There would be straightforward conversations where you could articulate what you were saying and trust the other person to ask questions, and you could arrive at commonality. Also, there would be space for relationships to grow. Healthy, safe spaces. You want that for your life, don't you? I know I want more of that in my life. I want that in my family. I want that in my work. I want that in my community. I want honesty. And so I want to raise kids who are living out that dream. Let's stop sugarcoating lies by calling them white lies. A lie? It's a lie. Let's live in the realm of truth. Let's speak truth. Let's live truth. Let's live honest lives that point people to Jesus Christ, because he is the way, the truth, and the life. Do you want to be part of a community like that? Do you want to be a people like that? Do you want to raise children who truly have grown up knowing what it means to be completely and hopelessly honest? I know I do. Will you join me?